What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my demise. Like and subscribe. So I recorded a whole nother video on the shenanigans of PlayStation, of course. How they suck and you know, the same thing. Then I see the news about Bungie, which is Sony, which is PlayStation, and it's just kind of more confirmation that Sony / PlayStation sucks, basically. So here's what's happening. So we found out, I forget how we found out, but we found out back last year sometime that I guess Bungie missed their target by $45 million or something. I forget what it was. Something like that, right? And so in that news was the information that, if Sony can't get if Bungie can't get their act together, start making that money, Sony, within the contract that Bungie signed, dummies, Sony would take over Bungie, controlling Bungie, the company. They own them, but they were, I guess they were operating as an independent company under Sony, but now I don't think that's the case anymore because Jeff Grubb tweeted something about Herman Holtz is running Bungie now, and that means that Bungie's no longer Bungie, basically. Maybe still a name. But with that, they let some people go. Now, remember, when Sony acquired Bungie, they said, we're not going to lay off anybody, not going to restructure, we're not going to do none of that, right? Lies. So guess what they did? They fired 220 people. And another 170 or something like that, they moved to SIE. And some. I'm like, look. This is... people who like Destiny, people who had hoped that Bungie would stay alive to make good games from the future, from now until forever, you might as well just throw your dreams in the trash right now, because as bad as Bungie is, right? Destiny's failing, all this stuff. They have bad advice. Let's not do a Spider-Man multiplayer verse game. That was a dumb move not to do that game because everybody would have bought it. Let's cancel all the games except for the games that our boys are making. Concord, hot trash. Yeah, let's listen to Bungie. Now, even with all the bad choices and decisions Bungie has made under Sony has less experience. They don't know what they're doing. At least Bungie knew what they're doing, just messed up and made bad decisions. Sony has no clue. So if they make a decision and it works, then it's just blind luck. They don't know what the hell they're doing, right? So under Sony, the history dictates that they can't do a multiplayer game to save their life, let alone games of service. Because games of service is like multiplayer game plus a whole bunch of more stuff that they don't know what the hell they're doing. So, Bungie's done. Sony's kind of like, what are they doing? Was that acquisition that it's like, I can see if you buy something for billions of dollars and it's making you money because it's kind of set up financially to just make that money, like Candy Crush. Like you buy King, everything's already there. It's making money. You're just kind of, the money's falling, and then the OCO goes, and then you just replace, and then the money falls on you, and you're like, yeah, I like this. It's good. That's why you spend billions of dollars on a company, because it's making money already. You're paying that much money to just make the money, right? That's what the ABK deal was about, for the most part. It was multifaceted, but you know what I'm saying? It was Call of Duty, the moneymaker. It was Candy Crush, the moneymaker. It was Blizzard. They make some money too. World of Warcraft. So, on all three accounts, they're making money. Sony bought Bungie on I guess the visuals of not the visuals, but the actual kind of hope or the I don't know what the word is right now because I'm tired, and like I said, it's the second video I'm doing today. But on, I guess, the back of Destiny 2 now. I mean, was Destiny 2 making it on money? I kind of figured they've always had development issues with Destiny 2 from the jump, and that has to do with their engine for the most part. And it's just, to iterate, it's difficult because I guess it's the lighting system. They have to bake all the lighting, so when I don't even know. So I'm not gonna continue on that path. But development woes aside, they missed their target. So why? I mean, and that was after that happened. That news happened after they were acquired by Sony. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we bought Destiny and we have our Halo killer because they made Halo, and we're gonna have Marathon, and Marathon's gonna be the Halo killer. And blah, blah. I'm like, look, you guys are gonna be lucky if you could get Marathon out at this point. And now that Sony, Herman Holtz is in charge of Bungie making Marathon, think about this. Why couldn't PlayStation and Herman Holtz make a Marathon-like game before? Right? I mean, they couldn't. They suck at it. So what makes you think Herman Holtz driving a new car, he's not going to win any races? He couldn't win the race in the old car that they were driving. That wasn't Bungie. Now they got the Bungie car. They're not going to win any races either. How? They fired a bunch of people. I'm pretty sure Luke Smith is gone because he was the creative director or whatever. They fired all the head people, or I don't know what they did. Look, they were very vague with their statement because they don't want to catch the ire of the Ponies and the Donkey Unicorns, but they're already catching it. And they're catching it not from Ponies and Donkey Unicorns per se, because they're like, yay, finally, Sony has it, yeah. I'm like, what are you cheering for? People lost their job. That's the worst thing that could happen in the industry, and you're cheering because Sony now controls something that they have no idea what they're doing. They have no knowledge or experience in leading a multiplayer franchise / studio to fruition and to glory, to success. None. You can say, oh, Gran Turismo 7. They've been making the same racing game for 1,000 million decades, just making the graphics better. That's all they've been doing. That's not hard to do. I mean, just look at Turn 10. They're doing the same thing to little success. But that Playground game. Speaking of Playground games, a little tangent real quick. They have a new studio. I'm like, what? They got a new studio. Wait a second. You got Playground. You got Forza Playground games. You got Fable Playground games. And now you got the middle one. Oops. This one in the menu. What? How? What are they gonna make? You know what? Do two more. Do more to Playground, because they're so good that maybe it's the British Air or something. I don't know what it is, but I think my lineage as far as DNA and stuff. I did the 23andMe or Ancestry, or did one of those things. And I got some Britishisms, I think, maybe. I think we all do. We're all from Africa. I don't know what I'm saying. Point is, I like Playground games. I like British humor. Not all of it. Some of it. You throw Time Bandits in front of me, I'll watch it. You know what I'm saying? You throw in a little bit of Benny Hill, I'll giggle. You know what I'm saying? You give me a little, I was going to say, anyway, it doesn't matter. But Playground getting another studio, that's crazy. And after what Fable looks like, I'm like, these guys are they're like the secret MVP of Xbox right now. You know what I'm saying? And they're not getting, I don't think Playground's getting their credit as the MVP right now, because they put out Forza Horizon 5, banger. Best racing game. Destroys GT7. Destroys it. Even though I didn't like I was like, Mexico? Yeah, it's okay. I mean, Australia, for me, I think Australia was the best one. Australia. I have a soft spot for the accent. Australia. They should have had like great white sharks like jumping out of the ocean. That would have been cool. Australia, like big spiders. They had gators though. I found an alligator, and the kangaroos out though. Anyway, going back. So with the Bungie news, right? There's also news of, I guess I'm going to just smash these two videos together. I won't do the other video. The other news was that the Microsoft fiscal year is over, fiscalated. And Satya Nadella, big boss over at Microsoft, was like, yo, over 500 million mouse. There it is. 500 million mouse, yo. I'm like, what? Huh? 500? Where did that number come from? And I'm like, well, that's probably, and he said over all devices and services or something like that. I forgot what the exact phrasing was. So I'm like, oh, okay, so everything Microsoft, 500 million monthly active users. Yeah, that sounds about right. What Sony got? The last number that I saw was 123 million. That was in December 2023. 5-1, son. Y'all like to do ratios and stuff. Oh, PlayStation's selling 29-1 console. Well, guess what? The thing that matters the most, according to Sony, as of recently, because Hiroki Toki said Baboki, and Microsoft been saying this for years, monthly active users. And guess who's winning that war? The monthly active user war. It's Microsoft. 500 million to 100 and change. 5-1. Xbox, Microsoft destroying Sony. So, I mean, y'all want to play that? You want to play the console war game? You want to play the numbers game? Look at the numbers. Now, Ponies and Donkey Unicorns are going to be like, oh my gosh, Xbox hardware down 42%. Okay, keep reading. I know, because you skipped the first like 2 or 3 where it said, software, services, all this stuff, up 61%, up 44%. What's your numbers? Huh? What's your numbers? What's your numbers, PlayStation? What's your numbers, Sony? They ain't that. Microsoft, with one fell swoop, came in, swoosh, scooped it up, sweep, and the numbers is like boosh. Blowed up. They are all that. Just like that. You know? And I'm like, how? My main thing is, Sony's been in the game longer than Microsoft, right? How does a giant billion-dollar corporation not see what's going on around them? Are they in a echo chamber? Probably. And they're just oblivious to everything else that's happening? Oh, only thing that matters is PlayStation because we're the best. Oh. Their hubris is so blinding that they didn't see the environment changing around them, and now they're stuck in a desert with no water. They got no games. They got no games coming. The hardware sucks. The hardware's not selling. It's so bad for Sony. They talking about, oh, look, it's a back-to-school sale. I'm like, back to school? Really? That's what y'all, back-to-school sale? 50% off of this. The PlayStation VR 2 is like $399, $349 something. Like, they took so much money off of that. I'm like, even with that price, still not worth buying. You need games. I mean, look, I don't even understand how Sony doesn't understand that they need games. They need games. They need games. And the thing about them is they need specific games because they've groomed their audience, the hardcore, of what to expect. And they're not giving it to them. So what are they doing? They're like, you know what? $200 for an Xbox. Let's go get that and play some college football. Let's go get that and play whatever else is coming out that I need to upgrade for. The upgrade console of choice is the Xbox Series S. Why? Because it's the cheapest. That's it. That's it. Not because, oh, my friends are all on PlayStation. No, nobody cares. Because they are on PlayStation 4s. And guess what? The guys on PlayStation 4, the people on PlayStation 4s, their friends are still on PlayStation 4s. Because who the hell are they playing with? They playing with PlayStation 5 people? No, they're not. Because Sony doesn't like cross-play. I'm just playing. I think they do cross-play with their own ecosystem, but as far as no, they don't. It's another bad thing about PlayStation. Anyway, I'm tangentializing and I'm rambling and stuff. But anyway, I had to redo this video because that news was too hot. It was too. They fought 500 million mouse. Them 500 million mouse versus one and change, 5-1, man. Ooh-wee. Xbox is killing PlayStation. The last video I put out, remember I said PlayStation's losing? This is an example of them losing. It's not like I'm a fanboy and I'm going to just say everything negative about PlayStation. I say the negative stuff about PlayStation because the PlayStation contingent and the media are ignoring those things. And if we don't say anything, no one will say anything, and it will be ignored like it's not happening. And everything needs to be said in the industry if you want it all to be out there, and if you want it to stay healthy, remain healthy, we need to see all the moving parts so we know what's going on. You know what I mean? We can see, oh, Sony might be having trouble, okay? So as a gamer, an investor in hardware and such, and ecosystems, you have a choice. You can say, am I going to buy the next Am I going to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro? Is there going to be a PlayStation 6 for me to buy? You know, stuff like that. What would I buy if not a PlayStation next gen? Will Xbox come through? Probably. And the thing is, if Sony messes up so bad, a lot of these fanboys, they're full of shit, okay? Whatever the popular brand is, they're going to gravitate to it because they have a constituency. They have a fan base that they need to satiate. And that dude walking, he had Xbox. He's carrying an Xbox. I'm literally recording a video and your boy's carrying an Xbox, going to his friend's house. Yo, let's play some Xbox. Let's go. Not a PlayStation 5, because, you know, they're really big and heavy to carry. Almost impossible. He had an Xbox. I mean, there's an older Xbox, but he still had an Xbox. Anyway, point is, these creators, these content creators, these ponies, these donkey unicorns who have YouTube channels will follow the zeitgeist. They're going to follow the popular brand, the winner. And if Xbox, or I should say when Xbox takes the crown and becomes the most popular console again, and everybody's buying Xboxes, they're going to shift. You're going to see it because they need to maintain their channels. That's their living, blah, blah, blah. And so they'll be like, oh, well, and they're going to, you know, make up some excuse as to why they want to play on Xbox now or whatever, because, I don't know, Sony abandoned us. Whatever. You know what? I don't really care what the narrative is going to be as to why they switch, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen because that is the nature of these fan wars. But anyway, I appreciate you hanging out. Like and subscribe. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think about the 500 mouse that Microsoft got versus Sony's little 100 and change. And the whole Bungie thing, like, wow, Bungie, really Bungie? Woo-wee. That's the saddest thing. It's really super sad. I mean, like, you know, job loss, obviously. That's always said. That doesn't need to be said, really. But last thing, like how, I know I said this before. How did Bungie allow themselves to sign this deal? I mean, maybe they had a little bit too much hubris too, and they're like, it's okay. We'll be all right, because we're Bungie. We can make good games. Maybe that's what they said, right? And they didn't realize that PlayStation gamers, the casuals who actually own PlayStations, don't really play Destiny. They play Call of Duty. Anyway, hit me up in the comments. You know what's up. And I'll talk to you on the next one too. Wait.